right. Good morning, everybody. About to get this thing started.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Did you see what I sent you in Messenger?
I did.
Rent free.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you send that to me. Rent free, huh? I hadn't even thought about it until you sent it to me.
Rent free.
So
no, I'm thinking you change the helmet to a Lions and you change the jersey to a Packers.
Rent free. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Get rid of these guys. Oh, there you go.
The Road Warriors. Look, that's a wrestling reference I get. Oh, it says Road Warriors. Never mind.
Yeah, it says Road Warriors.
I can read.
We're 4-1 on the road, so.
But I just want to say I recognized it as Road Warriors before I read that.
You know what's funny? That like right around the time the Road Warriors were actually a relevant tag team, that was the last time the Lions won a playoff game. So
that tells you how old I am. That's a great one though, man. The more I look at it, that's great.
Well, this one's not going out until noon, so you guys get to watch this come out. Make sure you like this when it comes out onto the page today.
Look how Jared Goff has the head and the arm just so obviously do not match that it's hilarious.
Oh, look at those guns.
It looks like Master Blaster from Thunderdome. Master Blaster runs Border Town.
You like that? You've got to be kidding me, man. I can't even do my job around you.
Master Blaster runs Border Town.
That's pretty good. That's a really, really good impression, too.
Thank you. You got Christopher Walken. I got Master Blaster.
It's good. This guy came and said the Lions were the king of the jungle.
Oh, shit. Are we live? Oh, Russ, you do that to me all the time.
I do.
Oh, and we're going to get how about that Lions game?
Hey, everybody knows who we are. Or at least if they've listened to this show. They have to.
Packer killer.
No Packer killer.
Master Blaster runs.
Get those invites in. Help us out. We're trying to reach some more people. We about ready to do PFF Tuesdays. We're going to get all nerdy on you. We're going to break down these games. And we do appreciate all the comments on the misspellings. I'm not a very good speller.
I was a spelling bee champion.
There's your coach of the year right there, Dan Campbell. We're done answering questions as Lions fans. Oh, let's get into these comments. Let's see who we got in here. Who's got their morning coffee with us? All right. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Brent. Now you two get special kudos because you were here before I was here. Right there. And here's our comment right there. Put what team you represent into the comments. We assume that most of you are Lions fans, but there are some other people in here. Brent. What? Good morning, Brent. Jeffrey Addison, our good friend. Good morning. Good morning, Jordan. Yeah, here we go. It is time. It is the football talk with Russell Wayne. I got the wrong thing in the background. It was from last night's show with the guy that is with me. My partner in crime right here. Main Event Mike is on the show. That's my little friend from last night. Yeah, great show last night, man. It was I enjoy that for sure. And there were more people watching. I just think that the most of them are just scared to come on. So we still had good viewership. We just, nobody wants to come on and get that smoke.
Therapy. It's good therapy.
It's a good therapy session right there. And speaking of the therapy sessions right there, I should play that Ifatu Melofano so you can actually see the promo for that here in a minute, though. But we are broadcasting live right now into the Detroit Lions news. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joe Chap, for helping us get our page off of the ground. Honestly, you guys are awesome. They're sending us to the Denver Broncos game. We get to watch the Lions play the Broncos, and the Broncos actually look a little bit better than we thought they were going to be right there. We're also broadcasting live into Mike the Bear fan. He supports the NFC North main event, which is one of our pages that we're trying to grow right now for all four of the fan bases to be able to come in here. And then obviously our page is the Lions Villain Squad, not the Detroit Lions Villain Squad, the Lions Villain Squad. Please go follow us. We're approaching 10,000. I think that we just crossed over 9,900 followers. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you for appreciating us. And here we go. It's PFF Tuesdays. So let me get this background in here right. There it is. PFF Tuesdays. Football talk with Russell Wayne. Where do you want to start, Mike? Anything you want to?
I want to start with the fact that we are not at 9,900 followers. We're at 9,894. So we need 6 of you out there right now. If you're not already following the Villain Squad, Detroit Lions Villain Squad, not affiliated with the Detroit Lions, please go and like Lions Villain Squad and follow us and get us over. We're trying to get to 10,000. And every single day we bring you this content, 11 a.m., 5 days a week, and then one night show on Monday night. And as you alluded to, Russ, we did have a really good show last night. At one point, we had Vikings, Bears, Packers, and Lions in each box, just as we always envisioned it, right? And
Right.
That was really good. And we had some really good conversation. The only problem with it is it's on a Monday. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and the kickoff for the game, is happening Monday Night Football. So you're up against it. You only got 1 hour in there. And at the end of the show, it was really heating up. So I apologize to anybody that feel like they jumped on and then we cut out, because we're on a hard stop on Monday nights. But we are not on a hard stop this morning, my friend. The Lions are 7-2. You loving it? I'm loving it.
I mean, you can't not love it, because we're about ready to go into this uncharted territory, which we did do some of that research, right? A little bit of that research. The last time the Lions were 8-2 was 1964. That's crazy talk right there. So Dan Campbell, if you want to say same old Lions, you sound dumb. I'm just saying, at this point in time, we're going into these uncharted territories. Do you think that the Chicago Bears are going to be the team to knock us off of this winning streak? I don't think so. I can't see them doing it. As much as we love those Chicago Bear fans, but that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to trash the Chicago Bears. We're here to look at the PFF scores. Which ones you want to start with, Mike?
PFF Tuesday. Let's start with our favorite, Jordan Love.
Oh, you want to go right in?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only team in the division that lost this week. And by the way, it has been 786 days since the Packers have beaten the Detroit Lions. Let's start with Jordan Love, who is 21 of 40 for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. with a passer rating of 71.8. What does that kind of day in a losing effort translate to a score overall in PFF?
Well, actually, the PFF grades were pretty kind to him, if that was the stat line right there.
Yeah.
And he had a 77 overall grade, a 77.9 in the passing area. And, the other scores, I mean, run blocking. I don't know. None of these other ones really matter. But no, he had a decent game. That's actually why he made, because I give him a lot of, I give him a lot of crap on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give him credit when they're giving him credit, which they did right here. So that's why he made the cover photo right here, because he was one of the top 5 graded Green Bay Packers of the week. So, kudos to Jordan Love for, he sucked, but he didn't,
it's my quarterback.
He didn't suck as bad as some of the other guys suck.
How many weeks this season, though, Russell, have we sat here, and I personally have sat here and read off Jordan Love's stats, and you don't need a calculator to get to 50%, right? 21 of 40. That's pretty easy math. It's always hovering in that area. 18 of 37.
Right.
It's always at 50% with an attempt rate, that's, I mean, it just seems to be a pattern, and that's a young quarterback, right? So you look at that PFF grade. That's why I wanted to start there. You look at that PFF grade, and it tells you what I already tell you. I can see, and I say every day to these Lions fans: don't go too hard on Jordan Love, because this kid's got something. He has a lot of potential.
I mean, he just needs accuracy, and you're playing the quarterback position. And the thing is if he was a rookie, and he was actually a rookie, I know it's his first year, guys, but he's not a rookie. And that you can't put him in this box where it's like, oh, you got to let him learn this. No, he should know the system. He should. I mean, it's been 4 years in this thing. He's got to get up to the speed. And in the NFL, if you're throwing 50%, it doesn't matter what those PFF grades. That might be able to say that. I mean, I don't even know what that really says.
That's why I'm interested in it. I'm trying to figure out a correlation between a shitty box score and a good PFF grade.
Yeah. I don't know. Elgin Jenkins had a good game. Jaden Reed had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Musgrave had a good game. So I think and Dante even Wicks had a good game. All these guys registering above 65 on their grades. So there you go. That might have answered your question right there.
Jaden Reed, 5 for 5. What was his actual score?
His PFF score, Jaden Reed, was a 79.1.
That's good. That's real good, right? I mean, that's pretty good for a slot receiver. That's 5 of 5, 5 catches on 5 targets, 84 yards. So a reliable, he catches 100% of the balls from a quarterback who's throwing 50% completion.
So what I'm looking at here, I think one of the reasons why Jordan Love's PFF grades were really good is because Jaden Reed, Elgin Jenkins, Luke Musgrave, Dontavian Wicks, A.J. Dillon, Romeo Doubs were the highest rated players. His playmakers around him had good games. He threw 50% completion, but at least the guys caught some of his balls. So I think where Green Bay Packer fan is misinformed is they're like, well, Jordan needs to make the people around him better. No, he needs to take these people that are around him that are playing good and play good yourself. Like if he played better, this data shows me that offense could be really good if Jordan Love could be more accurate.
Right. Right. And the good ones actually elevate the play of those around them, right?
Correct. So there's where it's a little misinformed right there. You can't throw 60 or 50% completion, but the guys are catching the balls. The guys are making plays when they get the balls in their hand. So let's go to their defense. You want to move over to their defense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's before we shift away from the offense. It should be noted the Packers outgained the Steelers in this game, total yards, and just about every offensive category. The Green Bay Packers had more yards. Well, I think they had the ball time of possession a little more as well. I mean, they should have won that game.
what you're playing. That's the way the Pittsburgh Steelers play. That's their style, right? They force you into mistake. You know, you may be able to get a lot of yards and a lot of stats on them, but they play Ben. And they'll crush you. They'll get you on the turnovers. They try to force you into mistakes, and they played into Pittsburgh's game, and Pittsburgh beat them because they played Pittsburgh football. They played, you know, mistake free, pretty much. Where you're looking at on offense, and then they turned the ball. They made them turn the ball over.
On Friday, I predicted a score of 20-16 in this game. It was 23-19, so still a differential of 4 points, right around in the 20s. You know, that's like you said on Friday. That's how Pittsburgh plays. Expect that. That's exactly what it was. They had a chance to win the game at the end. He throws an INT. So all of what you just said, like the facts are bearing it out, right? A little bit better quarterback play. It's going to. You got 3 or 4 extra wins this season.
You know what I like about the way that we're going off of this, because you're giving them the real stats of what it is, and we're trying to find the balance of where the PFF lines up with what the stats said. And I like this. So on defense, I mean, Rashawn Gary was the best graded defender right there. I mean, they just gave him a bag. You expect him to play good. Kenny Clark. So they had good defensive line. They had good defensive line play. Corey Ballantyne. Let's give some credit where credit is due.
They let Rasul Douglas go, and this kid's stepping up.
Yep. Right into that spot. I mean, 71.0 that you're expecting your guy to be in the spots that he needs to be in. Good job right there.
And again, another game consecutively without Quay Walker, which right here, the stat I'm looking at, Green Bay Packers had 0 emotional outbursts.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Things are looking up. Things are looking up for the Green Bay Packers, right? Carl Brooks had a pretty good game. Anthony Johnson Jr., rookie safety, had a good game. So if I'm the Packers, which, you know, I know they're in witness protection right now, but if there were a couple Packer fans that were alive and well, and they were actually listening to me right now, you should feel encouraged. Like, this was house money. We talked about this earlier in the season. This was a house money kind of season for them, being $40 million behind the cap because of the trade of Aaron Rodgers. They knew they were going to get a bag next year. They ripped the Band-Aid off. I don't think that the Gouda guy could have, it could have went any better than that for them. You know, I think that they were really thinking next year, and this was house money. If Jordan Love was good, boom, we'll take it. But you got these young players, and I'm looking at that, and all these young players that I listed, even Devontae Wyatt was over 60, Kayseon Nixon, Anthony Johnson, Carl Brooks, all these guys are young players. So he's going to get a full year development going into the next year. So you lost. You're not going to be good this year, Green Bay, but you don't have to go into witness protection. We're not going to beat you up too bad. Mike was being nice yesterday.
And their next game is the Los Angeles Chargers, who are scratching and clawing. They know they got a damn good team. They just put up 38 points. They're going to be hungry to win, even in Lambeau.
I love pretend football facts, Rick says. Okay. They're not pretend football facts.
Well, that's what I think he's alluding. That's what PFF is, like a pretend thing.
Yeah, I get you. It's not really a pretend thing. What do you got? What do you got? If you got something better, Rick, that can rate offensive and defensive linemen, I mean, right now you could just be like, Broderick Martin has 0 sacks. He sucks. You know, like, okay.
Good point. Good point.
It's like, give me something then, Rick. We're trying to blend them together to see where the pro pretend football facts meet the real football facts right there. Tom says, Michael says Lions. All right. Thank you, Michael. Bear down, Mike. Dude, the best Bear fan on earth.
You can't throw a dead cat over your shoulder without hitting a mic.
Good morning, Russ and Mike from Brent. Chuck, what's up?
Loins all the way. Go Loins.
Go Loins.
Loins.
That's the Muskegon posse right there from back in the crop circle days. We got some of the old school in here. I like it, Rick. So does Kirk Cousins. Good morning, Brent. Yeah, I'm back to work. We got Jason. We got some skulls popping out every now and again, other than Sarah. Look at Jason MC being in here. I was on last night. Jason MC was on last night.
He was. He had a comment at the end, too, that was a good one about, I don't know. He's a Vikings fan. I know that.
Oh.
Good morning. Single dads are back.
There you go. I'm a diesel mechanic, and there's always a truck someplace to hide under.
Aha, right on, Fred.
Right said, Fred. I'm too sexy for this chat. LOL, Fred. I'm hiding my Jeep. All right, let's go.
Thanks for making us part of your guys' covert time clock milking. I love it.
So, but then, so Brent says right here, 1964, 3 years before I was born. It's like this is the thing that Lion fan out there. I mean, we should feel encouraged right here. Like, I listened to a lot of the podcasts yesterday. That's what I do on Mondays afterwards. I listen to what all of my favorite guys that would say, and even some of my guys that aren't my favorite guys. But I wanted to see what the general temperature was after another Lions victory. And you would think we lost the game if you would listen to all the podcasts in succession. All it was whining and crying about how bad the defense was and how we're never going to get it fixed. We're never going to beat good teams and all that. And it's like, here we are, like right on the cusp of doing something that hasn't been done since 1964, and we're whining and complaining about these things. We dominated that game on the offensive side of the ball. They had no answer. The Chargers had no answer for our offense. And you can whine and complain, say we had no answer for their defense. Well, we had enough answer for their defense to stop them enough to get ahead of them enough that we were just dangling a carrot behind us the entire time. We were in control of that game the entire time. Never strayed, never was behind in that game.
And Brent, 1964, 3 years before you were born. That's 4 years before I was born. So that means you and I and a billion other Lions fans have never seen 7-2. I mean, the magnitude of that is kind of mind-boggling because I feel like I'm an old man, right. And I've never seen my team.
We've seen 7-2. We saw 7-2 in 2014.
That's what I thought. Okay, so what are we talking about? What happened?
We're talking about beating the Bears to go to 8-2, which hasn't been done.
8-2. 8-2.
8-2 has not been done.
8-2. Okay.
We are on the cusp of doing something special right here. And
if we win against Chicago, we will be 8-2, which hasn't happened since 64.
Right. And Jeremy Ballrick comes in with the Vegas already did. The Bears are 9.5
Good
underdog.
Call, Jeremy. Good call. 9.5 points, the opening line for the Bears in Detroit. Wow. I got to wrap my head around that before I say anything.
And I tell you what, when I look back, and I'm going to get into the Minnesota Vikings game on PFF style, right? But when I went back and I rewatched the Chargers game, what I saw, I didn't see a lackluster defense. I saw Justin Herbert balling. I saw Justin Herbert making these tight-ass window throws right in between two people. And if it was anybody but Justin Herbert, I think that Kirby Joseph would have had 3 picks in that game. The touchdown, one of the touchdown catches that went to Keenan Allen was this close from being an interception. So don't give me the shit like these guys, like Aaron Glenn, ain't putting these guys in position and stuff. That's a good quarterback that was trying to come back in the game. They went into a hurry-up offense for a minute and threw the team off. But Justin Herbert made some throws in that game that I don't think too many. Maybe Matt Stafford could have made that throw because he's got that rifle. But you're talking like 90-mile-an-hour fastballs in between two defenders that were defending it good on a couple of them. So, but let's get into the other games right here. So the Minnesota Vikings, is that next? Let's see. Yeah, let's take these Minnesota Vikings. They took on the Saints, and you know what? They beat their ass. Like, I got to say that the Minnesota Vikings, to me, are the biggest surprise of the year for me. I mean, the way that they overcame injuries and losing players, and I was thinking Kwesi was an idiot, which I still think he is on the contract side of it, but it's worked out so far here. This has worked out for you. You're bringing in Brian Flores with a bunch of nobodies on defense. But let's start with this offense first. And our boy, TJ Hawkinson, man, where the hell were you? You were a Detroit bust. You were a Detroit bust right here on the bottom end of that top 10. Now you're coming in. You're looking like Travis Kelce 2.0 over there in Minnesota, grading it at a 93.3. And I'm pretty sure that the stats back that up too, didn't they, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. TJ Hawkinson, and I agree with you. Minnesota is the big story in this division. It isn't the Lions right now, right? I mean, they got to 6 wins after Kirk Cousins went down. We wrote him off. I was one.
Yep.
I wrote him
off long before Kirk Cousins was out.
And their schedule coming up, they got a lot of winnable games: Denver, Chicago, Las Vegas, right? I mean, they could keep on rolling, and that's a huge story. And TJ Hawkinson, 11 catches, 134 yards and a touchdown. Very Kelce-esque, I would say. So, yeah, definitely the story. 27-19, they beat New Orleans. They have to bring in Jameis Winston because Derek Carr's hurt. He goes and throws 2 interceptions. That helped Minnesota out a lot. I mean, New Orleans could have really took command of that game. They were moving down the field on them. And interception. Boop. They do it again. Interception. Boop. You're not going to win like that. Good job to the defense.
So lead me in right here with how did Joshua Dobbs do? Give me his stat line.
He was 23 of 34 for 1 touchdown and a passer rating of 101.1. Very respectable. Okay,
so his PFF grade was 64.6, wow. 63.4. But that's not bad. That's just that's what you call game managing numbers. You're not gonna. There was not mistakes in there. But where I really want to point out right here, this is the thing about Minnesota that makes it so interesting right here, is their highest graded players, top 3 guys. Tight end, number 2, Johnny Munt. Tight end, number 3, Josh Oliver. Tight end. This is the greatest tight end room in the history of tight end rooms right here. These guys are balling out. All 3 of their tight ends are their highest graded offensive players. And then the next ones, like, check this out. Brian O'Neill, 74.4. Christian Darrisaw. Ed Ingram, right guard. Garrett Bradbury, center. These are their highest graded players. It's no wonder. There's no wonder that this team is playing well, because when you get good offensive line play, you can get in these dog fights at the end against a very good defense in the New Orleans Saints and take care of business. Kudos. There you go. Right there. Sarah, are you watching? Are you watching? Kudos to those Minnesota Vikings playing well on offense.
So here's this. Well, this is why it intrigues me. Like we were talking about with Jordan Love. Jordan Love, 2 interceptions, 50% completion, has a passer rating of 71. He gets a 74 overall PFF grade. Josh Dobbs, in a winning effort, goes 66% completion with a 101 passer rating with no interceptions and a touchdown pass, and he has a 64. So I think I give up, man. I give up trying to figure it out because I just can't.
Well, but it's getting answered within the other stats right there. His number is lower because it didn't have to be too exciting. His offensive line played out of his mind. Jared Goff goes through the same thing. A lot of times he doesn't get the big high 90 ratings because his offensive line balls out every week.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys that are getting the highest scores right there. And I'm telling you, 60, what I say, 64 That's not awful. I mean, you're not.
You told me anything below 60, everything above 65 is good. Is what you told me.
Yeah. You're doing what you're supposed to do according to the PFF rating or whatever, right? Let's see. On defense, a Caleb Evans, right? Is that how you say it? Caleb Evans, Blackman, McKee Blackman, Andre Booth, Troy Dye, Cameron Bynum. And these are their highest rated players. I mean, nobody really balled out on defense. I'm just going to name those. I'm not.
Every week we say Cameron Bynum's name.
Yep. And they're decent right there, but you can see where they're bottom. You're right. Tonga, Roy, Harrison Phillips, Jordan Hicks, Pat Jones. Now, this to me shows a pattern of where they're not playing well is right up front, which tells me that you're going to be able to run right up the frickin' middle against that defense. Mm-hmm. So, but that's just what I see. And there you go. There's Minnesota. Minnesota is playing the Denver Broncos this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Denver Broncos, this is not a gimme anymore. Mm-hmm. This is now a Denver Bronco team that has won 3 games in a row. They're looking like a team that traded for a quarterback because they were one piece away. Mm-hmm. That's what they're looking like right now.
Mm-hmm. Steve Israel, just says that the Bills fired Ken Dorsey this morning, offensive coordinator. After that game, after they lose to Denver last night at home, the OC gets the axe. Steve Israel, breaking some news right here on Football Talk with Russell Wayne. And how many people are watching on the YouTube right now? I know we lost one. I think Rick did not like how you reacted to him calling those fake stats, or he was being sarcastic. He got mad and unsubscribed, he said. But we're sorry, Rick. Man, we didn't mean to piss you off. But hopefully you'll join us again someday. How many people are watching and how many likes do we actually have on YouTube right at the moment?
I'm looking right now. And I'm sorry, Rick. I mean, it's like what Rick just said was, I'm going to rip on your show. Like, this is my show right here, right? So Russell Wayne, PFF Tuesdays. And I'm sorry. I'm looking at it and I'm like,
let's move on. Let's not talk about it. How many viewers do we have on YouTube compared to how many likes is what I was asking.
14 people watching on YouTube right now, 34 watching totally. So of the people that are watching in other spots, if you go over to the YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. And hit that like button over there. There you go. Look at that. Just as you say it. Boom, 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 boom.
How many
boom.
likes? How many likes?
We are at 9 likes right now.
Out of 14. Okay.
Yep. So
I always like to monitor that because I find it interesting. If you're watching, it doesn't take anything to just reach down and push the like button, right? Some really good comments in here, especially about, what you were just going, Denver. Can Minnesota overlook Denver? Especially after what they did last night to Buffalo. And that's where you were going before I interrupted you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is PFF Tuesdays. I am very sorry if you don't like PFF. That's all I can say. I don't know. I dedicated my Tuesday to stats. That's what I was going to say about that. And I apologize if you think it's fake. I'm sorry. The 49ers, I don't know. We're like, there's a lot.
They're having a chat. They're having a chat.
They're having a chat. So I don't want to get in there. All right. I'm going to go into something different now. All right. Let's try.
I think that firing Ken Dorsey is probably a good idea because you watch that game last night. There didn't really seem to be a game plan. It was more like a game menu, like weird combinations of play calls. It was a strange game call by the OC, and he got fired this morning. I'm not surprised.
Right on. Well, I got. Yeah, this is just Jeremy's giving the report. Jeremy's well, every like has been documented by biting kneecaps with Jeremy Ballrick. He has bit every single one of them likes. There we go. Now we're up at the 14. 14 likes with 13 watching. How you like that, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to not looking at the comments.
You like that? You like that?
Every time they go, how about
I like it when you put them up on the screen and I get to make jokes.
You like that?
I don't like reading.
Oh, man. So let's go on.
We have not talked about PFF Detroit Lions. We have not talked about the Detroit Lions and Chargers PFF. We talked about the other games in the division, but not the Detroit Lions.
Right. We didn't talk about the Bears either. Oh, no, we did. We did do the
played
PFF
on Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. We did PFF Bears already. That's right. Oh, my gosh. The Lions offense is awesome.
Let's hear it, baby.
I can't even believe these scores right here. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown at a 91.4, Jared Goff at a 90.0, David Montgomery at an 86.8, Penei Sewell at an 83.1, Frank Ragnow at an 80.0, Taylor Decker 74.8, Sam Laporta 73.9. Those are just the ones that are in the that had stellar games. I could probably go down the entire list. Nobody scored below a 55, and it's like, wow, that's unbelievable. What an unbelievable offensive performance by the Detroit Lions. They looked unstoppable. And this wasn't some chump defense. This was the 9th ranked defense in the NFL. You had Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, who just had 6 sacks in one game last week. And Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker took those 2 elite pass rushers and just said, nope.
Zero sacks by either team.
1 quarterback hit in the entire game. Jared Goff was out in LA with his family, sipping lemonade in the backfield, just having some fun, just slinging the pig skin around, doing whatever he wanted to do. It's a beautiful thing. It's a
St. Brown as well, right? And, obviously Brad Holmes, a lot of the front office staff, people that came over with Brad Holmes from the Rams. It was a homecoming for a lot of members of the organization. So I'm sure there was a certain level of comfort being out there, especially, coming off a bye week.
Jameson Williams had a good game at 66. Yeah. What, the last week before?
I misspoke. Move on. Hopefully no one in the comments will find it and shred me.
Right. David Montgomery, I mean, what can you say about this guy? When these two guys were out there, the first time that we'd seen Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams out there at the same time, I loved some of the things that they were doing. They were lining them up on the same side. Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams would run the dart, like go really, really, really fast. He'd pull the safety down there with him, and then Jahmyr Gibbs would jump out and turn around real quick and be wide open.
Sit down right in the soft spot of the zone. Yeah, for sure.
And you have to take both of their speeds, and either one of them could run long or either one of them could sit down. Like,
did you see the one where the ball was batted at the line and Gibbs turned around, caught it, adjusted his body to catch it? That's wide receiver stuff, man. He's a back. So, man, just as advertised, we're just seeing it starting to show up as the game starts to slow down for him. And that's the thing about what you were talking about earlier. I mean, all those SOL idiots, if you're so far off, it doesn't even matter what happens this year. This organization is now set up properly, right? I mean, we're in great position. The salary cap is nice and put together. Nothing's killing us. That's the best part of all of this, regardless of what happens this year. If you're a Lions fan and you pay attention to football and how it works, this ship has been righted. We are going to be a contender for the division, at least for at least 5 or 6 years. And that's at the very least. If you disagree with that, put it in the comments. Tell me how I'm wrong. Right now, going to the Super Bowl. I know one of the comments is from Addison is a great comment, and it's a great take that's out there right now, Russ, if you want to explore this for a minute, of how just winning the division, making the playoffs would have been okay. But now, for us diehard Lions fans, we know what this team is. That's not enough. We're talking about Super Bowl, and I'm not ashamed of it. You can ridicule me for talking about Lions and Super Bowl in the same sentence if somebody wants to, but this team is going to be relevant for the next few years, and there's nothing anyone could do about it, regardless of what happens this year. And that's wonderful.
No, and that's the thing is, like, I challenge anybody. That's why we have a smack talking show. We've been challenging people to come on and tell us how we're wrong about this Lions team. And it's funny that the hardest people, the hardest on our fan base is our fan base. Like, nobody from the outside. I'm not getting a lot of flack from the outside. Congratulations, you guys are doing good. Oh, a couple of you guys just choke it out like you always blah 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 blah. A couple of those people out there, but for the most part, Packer fans have been on here. Hey, man, you guys, it's your turn. Go take advantage of it. Go do it. It's our own fans that are like, I can't believe we only won the game by 3. Oh my God, our team. It's like, whoa, calm down, enjoy the win. Smell the 7-2 air. Smells good.
Okay, like I have to agree with them to some point, which is this defense scares me a little bit. This defense is a division winning defense. It might be a playoff win defense. Is this defense a Super Bowl winning defense? That's the real question.
7-2.
That's right. So do they have the horses on the defensive side of the ball to take it across the goal line, man, to the Super Bowl?
See, this is such a funny argument to me, because the argument about the defense being bad, right, has to do with the
no one said the defense was bad. I said it's a division winning defense. Is it a Super Bowl winning defense? I have some questions there. I'm not 100% sold that it is. And I think what we saw on Sunday, not being able to stop the passing game of the San Diego Chargers, having 0 sacks, not getting a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert either, that is a concern for me.
See, case in point right there. We cannot talk about or enjoy a win for 7 days in this town. That we pick apart all of the parts of the game that we don't like, and then we go with that. And then, we have evidence right there. There was last week they did not play well on defense. And then you can also go back 2 weeks before that where they didn't play well against Baltimore. But what happens is when we're criticizing this defense, we say, well, they never get pressure on the quarterback, which is not true. They had 6 sacks last week. They had 6 sacks in another game that they had. They had a bunch of sacks in the Atlanta game. They had a bunch of sacks in the Tampa Bay game. And everyone just says, well, no, I just don't like those sacks.
No, they're in the bottom third of the league, Russ, in sacks. Bottom third.
Pressures.
Like 21st. I think they're 21st. I think they're 21st.
Pressures.
You said sacks.
Pressures. I said sacks. I said pressures. But this is what Lions fans do. Yeah, I misspoke there. I said sacks. I want to see sacks. We all want to see sacks. But pressures is how you win games. Pressures is why they're 7-2. They're 7-2.
They weren't getting a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert.
They got pressure on him in the first half. They stopped him. They intercepted him. They kicked his ass in the first half, got enough ahead of him to the point where Justin Herbert had to drive the ball down the field using a 2-minute offense. And yes, he got us on a 2-minute offense because Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback by arm talent alone, and he has Keenan Allen.
Okay, I just don't see a problem with pointing out a deficiency on our team. Okay. And if while we're at it, I'm not kicking the team when they're down. I love the win. I'm so ecstatic to be 7-2. All right, but I'll point something else out for you while we're here. I don't think I can get you any more upset. The first drive of the second half in the third quarter, they punted. It was a dud again. Not one time this year have they scored on the opening drive of the second half. That is concerning to me. That gets in your head. That becomes a trend that they've got to break that. It becomes a monkey on your back.
They did break it. They did. You know what they did? They completed a 4th and 2. They ran the clock down, and then they kicked the field goal to win a game on the road that they haven't done since 2018.
Okay. I agree with that. And
So
they won on the West Coast. Which they haven't done since 2011.
And I'm not mad. So here, now let's move the mentality over. Let's say the exact same scenario happened to the Bears. Is there anybody talking about how bad the Bears defense is? Is Ken Doby talking about how bad the Bears defense is? On this game? No. Ken Doby is going to talk about how they're going to a Super Bowl and how they're 7-2 and they own the division. Nobody can touch us. We're the best in the world. All of our garbage players are the best players on planet Earth. Only Lions fans after a win can go in and go, oh my God, they scored 41 points. I can't believe they didn't score on the first drive in the second half. I give up. Roy.
Valid point.
They punted once. They did. They punted once in the game, and I'm glad that you pointed that out. As a weakness going forward. Brent, I didn't know that Bosa and Mack was on the field against the Lions.
Right. Our offensive line. That's Brent. That's what we should be talking about. That was the real story of this game. Wasn't it?
Wait a minute. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. I have to give somebody some props right here. Hold on a minute, because I want to go into and to make sure I get her name right. Her name is Mary Wagenborg Shoemaker. And I want to put a shout out to you because you pointed this out, and shame on us, Mike. Shame on us. This is the second day. We're almost 46 minutes into the show, and we haven't mentioned Riley Patterson. Shame on us and this show. We suck at our jobs. Thank you for pointing that out, Mary.
Yes.
We're talking about how bad the defense is. We're talking about how we need to worry about all these different things. But guess what? Riley Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Clutch. You couldn't have put any more pressure on this kid running the clock all the way down to 2 seconds in the bee's nest of an away stadium and said, go win the game for us. Now, not 10 minutes from now, like you thought you might have to do later. Now, go out there and make this kick. 41 yards. It wasn't no gimme. It wasn't like a extra point or something. It was a 41-yard field goal right down the pipe.
You're going to hate me.
What?
But they didn't have enough faith in him to go longer. They want to stay right in this guy's range. Dan Campbell's made it clear he's drawing a line. And if it's beyond what Riley Patterson's comfortable range, we're going for it on fourth down. What a play call to Brock right on fourth down to move the chains, to get in position, to be able to run the clock down for Riley to kick that field goal. But you're right. Kudos, and Mary, you're right. Kudos. Yep. We haven't even said it at all. Riley Patterson.
And I have to go.
The game wins it at end of regulation. Wonderful.
And I have to correct you on the mentality of him going forward on fourth down had nothing, zero, zilch to do with his confidence and whether Riley could have made that play right there.
Okay. Well,
zero.
He could have kicked a 50. He could have attempted a 54-yarder in the first half, but he chose to punt. Nailed him, backed him up to their 8-yard line, and they then drove the ball 92 yards for a touchdown on us.
Yeah. Good. Kudos to that was the one punt that they did have. The only time that the team punted, our offense was so good where you actually had to think about either going forward or kicking a field goal or kicking or punting. That means that they drove all the way down there and they were able to, get close enough to do that. And
you saw Riley Patterson do it last year for the Jaguars in a playoff game against those same Chargers. And boy, that's got to be like a knife in the chest of those Charger fans. The same guy does it to you again.
And Dan Campbell's reasoning for going forward on fourth down was the exact reason we were talking about in the Lions' den. It's 2 yards to win the game. 2 yards to win the game. I wanted to end the game with the ball. Straight, that's it. Had said nothing about confidence in Patterson or whatever. He had confidence to have him kick the 41-yarder. He's not just go for it, Dan, on all of them, right? He could have kept going, right? He could have just He had a minute and a half if he didn't have any confidence in Patterson. They could have ran plays. They could have got more yards. You know, they chose to kneel the ball down, lose a couple extra yards to put the ball in the perfect position for Patterson. And then there he comes in, Captain Clutch, knocks it through. Yeah, he doesn't have the long foot. You're not gonna see him break an NFL record and kick a 67-yard field goal. Not gonna happen. That's not in the cards for Riley Patterson.
Right. And if you remember when there was a kicking, there was a battle for the kicking spot in training camp between him and the other guy. Was it Parker Romo? I think. We knew that the other guy had a bigger leg than Patterson, but Patterson was more accurate. From within 40, Patterson is like money. 40, 45. What was that final kick? You said 41. Is that true, though?
41. Yep. 41 yards.
41. So that's awesome. He was 2 for 2.
Yep. Then we went down there and we took care of that thing. I took care of that thing for you. Right there.
Manny Domain.
And we the road warriors. The road warriors. You got to be able to win on the road. The Lions moved to 4-1 on the road, man. That's something. That's something. It doesn't even matter. These final scores. Here's the thing. It's like all these the defensive outputs, as bad as we got beat by Baltimore, it's one loss. And we got into a shootout. And this is another thing that Dan Campbell talked about was we got into a shootout. We've gotten into a shootout before with Philadelphia and lost. We got into a shootout with Seattle and lost. We got shootout with Seattle again and lost. We got in a shootout. Finally, we got a shootout and we got that win. We got a win in a shootout game. And that was something that Dan Campbell has not done yet. And we were in control of that game. I think a lot of the script had to do with this is the type of game that we're playing, and the defense actually played to that. And gosh, man, I look back and there were so many of those plays. Justin Herbert was so close to having 3 or 4 interceptions, but he is that good. He is that good to be able to like to knife it in between 2 defenders. He had like 4 or 5 throws that were just like, wow.
And that's why I want to give kudos to the offensive line, because the run game is where the difference was. The Chargers rushed for 98 yards, so we can round that up, say 100. They rushed for 100 yards. We actually technically kept them under 100, but 98 yards, while the Lions rushed for an even 200 yards. So the final total yards, 533 to 421. We outgained them by over 100 yards, and that was all in the run game. Okay, all in the run game. And that offensive line clearing big holes, the backs, what a 1-2 punch. They both looked fresh every time they touched the ball. A lot of juice in their legs. We didn't see Craig Reynolds at all in the game that I can remember.
Nope. We didn't see Donovan Peoples-Jones, our brand new
that was
acquisition.
expected. That was expected.
Sure. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like this, the offense is just, I mean, it's going to get better. We're actually going to add another offensive piece this week and have even more offensive weapons to just pick you apart with. And this is the Bears. The Bears are coming to town. Now, I don't want to, I'm not the coach. I'm not, Dan Campbell's not, I'm sure that he's going to point out all the good players on the team, and they're going to scheme the game, and they're going to take the Bears very seriously. But the Lions should beat this team, and they should beat them going away. They should manhandle them up front. They got no answer up front for Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell and Ragnow, and they have no answer for how elite our offensive line is. We should just be able to push them right out of the way. But we'll see. It's a divisional game. Divisional games, just sometimes they just get ugly.
Yeah, I believe Justin Fields will start in the game.
Thank God. I didn't want to have to.
It's my quarterback.
I don't have to face Bajent, the secret Bajent man.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious.
You know, that's Mike Tyson.
It's Mike Tyson.
No, that voice is Mike Tyson.
That's Mike Tyson's voice. My style is impregnable.
My defense is impregnable.
Oh, wait, this just in from Matt LaFleur. That's roughly translated as McDermott got fired. Is that what happened?
No, the
No.
OC. They're not going to
The
fire
OC.
McDermott. If the thing continues to tank, then they'll get rid of McDermott, though. They got too much talent over there. They know their windows. Their window's probably closed, right? It closed. Did
Yeah.
it close?
I mean,
they couldn't get past Mahomes, and now it's falling apart. They lost Greg Russo. Matt Milano. They lost him to injury. That really hurt their defense. He was the real leader on the defense.
that's tough, man. That's tough. With that 14 seconds is going to be in his mind forever.
Josh Allen turns the ball over just too much. He's just too much of a cowboy.
That was his year.
His talent is incredible, though.
That was his year.
Yeah.
The Josh Allen year. I mean, he drove them straight down the field, the AFC Championship, put a dagger in their heart with 14 seconds left. And Mahomes played like he was like Matrix. And that wasn't supposed to happen. And that was, I swear, in Josh Allen's mind, he's like
13 seconds. I got 13. It's over. It's over. He's only got 13 seconds. It's over. Right? Gosh. And the amount of talent they've had there on the defensive side of the ball in the last couple of years, I mean, they're a favorite every year to go to the Super Bowl, and something happens. And now you got to wonder, is the window closed?
I don't know. I think it is. I really think it is, because you got these ascending teams. Mm-hmm. And I think you're finding a lot of these teams that you thought were the good teams that, like Houston. Like, no one's picking Houston, but now some people are starting to pick Houston because, wow, here's this team that's got all these first, second, third year players because they've been picking in the first round twice a year for the last couple of years. They got a bunch of young talent that maybe you haven't heard of before. And it's just a team loaded with that. That's what the Lions are. Like, people come in, they don't see the Lions coming because we don't have household names on offense or defense, except for, the top epsilon ones. But all of our top players are O-linemen. Nobody's like, oh, yeah. Oh, man, Penei Sewell's coming to town. They say that, but it's like, okay, it's an offensive lineman. Like, it's not like, Devontae Adams is coming.
No, and you made the comparison to the 2004 Pistons once. I thought that was really interesting. No superstar names, lunchbox guys, right? Grab your lunchbox, blue collar attitude. Yep. Lot of similarities there. I absolutely think this team could make it to the Super Bowl, though. I just think we would be remiss if we didn't at least talk about the deficiencies on defense that could prevent that.
And that's fine. There's no problem talking with the deficiencies on defense, because I'm used to a Lions team, right? Over the years, we've done this, but we're usually doing these types of talks after losses. Like,
it's true.
Like we get to in the end of the game. Oh yeah, look what they did to lose the game right at the end. They didn't lose the game, but we can still talk about the deficiency, which is a good problem to have, guys. Like, you don't think that Aaron Glenn's going to be going in there and cracking the whip? And you don't think that defense was hanging their head on that 4-hour flight back to Detroit going, wow, the offense bailed us out in this game. We need to buy them some steak dinners or something. Like, we got to get off our ass and do something. But the thing is like, you lift each other up. That's what good teams do. When the defense is down, the offense steps up. When the offense can't score any points, the defense stands up. Tampa Bay. Like the offense didn't play that great in that Tampa Bay game. It won 20-6, but it was like, it was pulling teeth to get points on that team. They kept on making us punt and everything. You had to win an ugly game. The defense had to lift the offense up, and they did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now it's War Week.
So maybe we can get a complete game. I think that's what, when we criticize the defense, and that's fine. You can criticize the defense, but don't let it get you down so much to think that you can't win a Super Bowl because you're afraid that all of a sudden the Baltimore's defense is going to show up. Every team is thinking that. The worst version of your team may show up on any given week. Doesn't matter who you are. Look what's happening in San Francisco right now. And this team is lauded as better than us, right? Oh, you ain't going to get past San Francisco. Why not? They have 3 losses. Like, what? Why?
And I think there's something to be said for the year 2023 has been a year of firsts. Why not the Detroit Lions, right? If the Golden Knights can win it, right? The Denver Nuggets, they can win it. Why can't the Detroit Lions win it? And now we see Texas Rangers win their first World Series, right? This is it, man. The stars are aligned. If we could get CJ, GJ back, James Houston, get those 2 pieces back on the defense, one on the back end, one in the front, that can make a huge impact. That could be the pieces we need, at the beginning of the season. Injuries happen to every team, but you never know who it's going to be, and you never know how severe it's going to be. Well, I think there's a chance those 2 can make it back in time for a playoff run.
Right. And they're not, and it's like this pass rush. I think they're going to figure this out. We have a bunch of, where's our youth? Our youth is all across that defense. I mean, just think about, go straight across the line. There's not even a guy, it seems I can even think of, that's been on the team for more than 3-4 years.
Right.
You're right.
Romeo.
Right.
Right. Where is our age on the O-line?
Yeah, that's where all the veteran leadership is. Well, that's why they're the best in the league right now, because these guys have been next to each other. And gosh, I am so encouraged after watching the way that offensive line played. And that's the second game they played all together, Mike, ever. And to find out that Glasgow is actually playing at a higher level than Vitae was, and then you put him in there, and now here's this offensive line. Straight across, there's no weaknesses. Straight across it. I mean, where's the kink in the armor? There isn't one. Mm-hmm. It's there.
But the versatility of Glasgow, it seems like you put Vitae out there, and then if you can spell all 3 of those guys for a rest if needed, or if there's an injury. Yep. But putting Glasgow out there, Dan Campbell said he earned it. So that's how the game is played.
That's right. That's right. And now you have Vitae as a piece that can play right tackle, left and right guard. That is in reserve. You just drafted Corby Sorsdahl, who has came in and played, exceptionally well for a rookie person that's been put in the positions that he's been put in. You come in, you were a right tackle at William and Mary. Then you came in, you got NFL coaching, so they switch you to inside guard. You learn all guard, but we have so many injuries on the offensive line that in that third game that he actually had to play right tackle. For a rookie, the tests that he's been put through, this offensive line's deep. It's good experience.
Do you still have PFF up?
I do. What do you want to hear?
Did Broderick Martin get any snaps on Sunday?
Let's go look. I think he did. No. He was a scratch.
Healthy scratch? Okay.
Yeah, he was a healthy scratch this week.
Interested to see him in the future, and Sorsdahl.
Isaiah Buggs was I think it's like when you look at the bottom end of that depth chart, they've been swapping back and forth. Isaiah Buggs and Broderick Martin have been going back and forth from week to week. It's not a bad problem to have when you're trying to work these guys in, man. And you wanted to know, Sorsdahl actually played. Where are you at, Cole? I thought he did. Maybe he didn't. Mm-hmm. Maybe he got. Maybe they were special teams reps, because I swear to God, I saw him out there. But let's go. No. I guess he didn't. Maybe I was wrong.
I got to get off of here. You want me to plug my show before I go?
Absolutely.
Oh, man, it's the NFC North open mic every Monday night, folks. Tune in Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All four fan bases in there talking about football. NFC North open mic. Leave your thin skin at home because it's not a safe space. Join us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming on again, man. I always love talking football with you, and I love talking football with everybody. And you can join me each and every day Football Talk with Russell Wayne every day at 11 a.m. And I apologize if I'd hate to lose subscribers like Rick for disagreeing with him, but I'm sorry. But yeah, but we do PFF grades on Tuesdays every week, and I'm gonna tell you where you can find us right here. We're broadcasting live into Detroit Lions news. Mike, the Bear fan, Hallis Hall report. Thank you. Approaching 9,000 followers right there. Please go follow our page. Subscribe to the content. I appreciate you. And I leave you with the blessing. I'll leave you with the blessing. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. That'll be tomorrow morning for the Hump Day. We're going to talk all Lions tomorrow. Peace out. Thank you for watching the program today. Thank you for watching the show today. Thank you, Gene. Rick made me feel bad for unsubscribing, for ripping on my PFF Tuesdays. Come on, guys. Can we get thicker skin out there from everybody? Please. Actually, hurts my feelings to know somebody would unsubscribe. I would never want to make anybody feel bad. We're just having fun on here. If you rip on my PFF Tuesdays, I made a cute little graphic and everything. You ripped on my PFF. So I ripped on your back. So thank you, Gene. I appreciate you saying that an awesome show. This is kind of like the after talk. The after talk. Jeremy B., I always appreciate you. Jeremy will go actually look up all this stuff. Sometimes we guess. We make educated guesses, though. I look up most of the stuff. But like today on the sacks, we make mistakes. Sacks. The Lions need more sacks. The Lions need more sacks. We can agree there. Bog says, I don't know. It's just me, but Jonah doesn't deserve an extension. He's a saloon door. I can't back you up on that one. He didn't have a very good game in this game, though. 56.3. Maybe there's some credence to that, Vogel. I say you don't bring the... That's cool. I don't want to, I hope Rick's is still here. I would never want to hurt Rick's feelings. Rick's been here. I understand. You don't like PFF. But if you can find me something other than PFF, I like PFF. PFF you can play around with. It's what all the Homer fans for all their teams. I mean, you can literally make somebody look whatever way you want to make them look. But just going down the schedule for the entire week. On Mondays, we do our reviews. We got all four of these teams. We primarily stay in the NFC North, but we do our reviews on Monday, Tuesday. We're doing our PFF Tuesdays. We do like talking about the other teams, but we have to have one dedicated day, and that's tomorrow. So, hope that you join me tomorrow for it. Like that. I would like that. I'm looking for my Monday promo to show you. Thursday's the hump day. There you go. Wednesday's hump day, so Wednesday has became Lions Day. It's Lions Talk. We want to talk about all these guys. Jonah Jackson came back. Jahmyr Gibbs looks like the real deal. We got lots to talk about. Lions go to 8-2. They could go to 8-2. They could. If they can beat the Chicago Bears, they can do something they haven't done since 1964. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. It really is. Thursdays, we bring in and we know sports. That's my boy, GT. Grove, GT Teague. And we know sports every Thursday night, but we bring them in the morning. And we talk a little bit of everything. So join us on Thursdays. And then Fridays, that's where we pick them. That's where we pick them. We pick all the games against the spread, and that's your opportunity to come in and put your picks against the spread. So what do you think? What do you think? Oh, let's end it. Let's end it like we end every day right here. Nothing flows better at the end of a show than some Green Bay tears.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big Shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.